Hi, friends. Welcome back to Midlife Awakening. I'm so glad you're here today. This space is for all of us navigating the middle stretch of life with hope and faith. Let me ask you something. Do you ever feel like you're caught between two kinds of death? The slow, certain death of staying stuck where you are, or the unknown risk of moving forward? Maybe in your health, your career, or even your walk with God, you're sitting at the gate, waiting, hoping things will somehow just get better. But what if God isn't the one who's waiting? What if He's actually waiting for you to take the first step? Today, we're going to unpack a powerful story from 2 Kings chapter 7 about four men who ask a life-changing question. Why sit here until we die? And I believe this same question holds a key for us in midlife. Imagine this. Samaria is starving. The people are trapped inside the city walls, and outside the gate sit four lepers, rejected, outcast, and forgotten. Their reality? They had two choices: die of famine inside the city, or die of famine sitting outside. But then comes the moment. They look at each other and say, "Why sit here until we die?" Out of sheer desperation, they take a risk and they decided to go to the enemy's camp, where they might die quickly or maybe live. And here's the midlife connection. Sometimes we only make a move when we've run out of options, when the comfort is gone, when we realize doing nothing is actually the worst choice of all. Maybe that's where you are right now, tired of the slow death of staying stuck, wondering if this is all there is. Can I encourage you? Desperation can actually be a nudge, because it pushes us to take steps we would never take when life feels safe. God often uses the famines in our lives, those dry, painful seasons, to move us toward a faith action we would never dare attempt in comfort. And here's the truth: indecision is a decision. To stay put is to wither, but to risk with God, even if it feels small, even if it feels scary, is to move toward life. Now here's where the story gets wild. The lepers step out at twilight, probably trembling, probably unsure. They had no idea that Elisha had already prophesied deliverance. They had no idea what God was about to do. But the moment they moved, God moved too. He took their hesitant footsteps and magnified them into the sound of a mighty army. The enemy panicked. The entire Syrian camp fled, leaving behind food, wealth, and everything the city needed. Here's the lesson. You don't need the whole map. You don't need the guarantee. You just need to take that first step. Faith isn't about knowing the ending. It's about moving forward with the little you have. Maybe for you, that step looks like picking up the phone to apologize to someone, or starting that business you've put off for years, or finally saying yes to God for the invitation to serve in church ministry, or saying, "Lord, I'm going to trust you with this health journey. even if I don't know the outcome. Your obedience, no matter how small, is the very thing God will use to trigger a breakthrough. Because God does the invisible work ahead of your visible obedience. Sometimes it's not about praying harder, it's about moving clumsily, imperfectly, but faithfully. That's when you'll discover the miracle waiting on the other side of action. But the story doesn't end with the lepers feasting on the enemy's wealth. At first, they hoarded it, understandably, because they were starving. But then conviction hits. They acknowledged, this is a day of good news, and we are keeping silent. They realized the blessing wasn't just for them. The whole city was starving. Their breakthrough was meant to be shared. That's the shift we're invited into at midlife. From finding our purpose to sharing our purpose. From asking, what do I need? To asking, who can I bless with what I've been given? The wisdom you've gained, the scars you carry, the faith stories you've lived, they aren't just for your comfort. They're meant to feed others, to encourage those who are still starving inside the city walls. Keeping silent when you've seen God provide is a missed opportunity, and maybe even a sin of omission. Someone out there is waiting for the very testimony you're tempted to keep to yourself. So let me bring it back to you. Where are you sitting at the gate right now? Is it in your health, waiting for change while slipping into decline? Is it in your career, dreaming of purpose but never taking the risk? Is it in your walk with God, content to survive instead of truly live? Here's the question. Why sit here until you die? What is one desperate, risky step you can take this week, trusting that God has already scattered the enemy on your behalf? Because He has. He's waiting to magnify your small step into something greater than you could imagine. If this episode encouraged you, I'd love for you to hit that follow button. Share this with a friend who may be sitting at their own gate, needing a nudge to move. And don't forget to rate the podcast so more people can discover Midlife Awakening. Until next time, remember, don't stay stuck at the gate. Step out. God moves when you do.